Hello everyone, my name is Seth and this is my 8 cents. I was going to do a video a few days ago, but some stuff came up and I was just, feeling the effects of the daily grind, I guess you could say. Moving on. So for those who watched Friday Night SmackDown, they found out the big news. For WrestleMania 38, Brock Lesnar, the WWE champion, will face Roman Reigns, the Universal Champion, in a title unification match. Winner takes all. This is exactly what I was afraid of. I'm curious, what does this mean? Does it mean that there will be one belt to defend on both brands? Will they do the same thing they did with Becky Lynch when she was Becky 2 belts? What does this mean? And why is this happening? The plot will thicken like some stew, but here are my 8 cents, no pun intended. I don't like this idea. It seems a bit convoluted. It's another notch in the Brock Lesnar Roman Reigns saga, and they have made some very huge mistakes in this story, such as Paul Heyman turning against Lesnar at the Royal Rumble. That is a WrestleMania moment. I said that before and I stick by that. No logic whatsoever. You want to save your biggest swerves for your biggest show. Just saying. What good is a swerve if it's on a random pay-per-view or if it's on for free? Raw or SmackDown or even NXT. What good is it? It's not good. It takes the credibility away because you want that moment. WrestleMania has a must-see vibe. It has, if you miss it, you missed out type of deal. That's the spirit that WrestleMania throughout the decades has always had. It's always had that. Such as Triple H betraying DX and joining the corporation. Such as, while this is not a swerve, Austin beating Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 14. Let's see. The Undertaker defeating Kane at WrestleMania 14. The list goes on and on and on. That was a mistake. I would have saved it for Mania. There's no more. It seems one-dimensional because it's Lesnar versus Reigns, the Beast versus the Tribal Chief. And while I do support Roman Reigns, the Tribal Chief, I think it's time that if you're going to continue this story to Mania, there's one important ingredient that you need. Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley never lost his WWE title at the Elimination Chamber. It was a concussion protocol. Bobby Lashley has a credible claim to that championship. He's the Almighty. Never was pinned for it. He was never beaten by Lesnar, and he was never, ever beaten by Roman Reigns. Ever. Ever. So instead of having it Lesnar versus Reigns, winner take all, Reigns, Lesnar, and Lashley, winner take all. Let's put a special layer on this. Think of the segments between all three of them. You got Paul Heyman and Roman with their segment. You have Bobby Lashley and MVP with his segment. And then you have Brock Lesnar and his new comedic, I don't give a fuck type character. The story writes itself. Mind you, with this story, you can't really do much, but you can do something. Because the story has to end. Whoever wins has to have a new list of opponents to have a program with. Because no one's going to want to see Lesnar and Reigns part 5, 6, 7, and 8. I know I'm not going to watch that shit. Would any of you? I'd hope not. You have to have fresh storylines to keep the fans and the viewers at home invested. It's why I don't really care to see Bianca face Becky Lynch. And there are those who will disagree with me because they feel that her losing in 26 seconds at SummerSlam to come back and face Becky at the grandest stage of them all is genius. But wouldn't you want your champion to face someone new at the grandest stage of them all? Say Rhea Ripley? Just saying. Just saying. The last few times that Lesnar's faced Reigns, with the exception of Mania 34, Roman has won. So really, what is different in this story besides Roman's? We'll say he's a tweener on the borderline being heel, and you have Brock Lesnar being a face. Do you really want to see Brock Lesnar as a champion again? Honestly, I'm not taking shots at Brock. Brock is good. Brock deserves everything that he has earned throughout his career. He's a guy that has done a lot of shit, from beating RVD at the King of the Ring to destroying Hogan. Thank you. To beating The Rock at SummerSlam 2002, to superplexing the Big Show off the top rope and the ring collapse, to beating Kurt Angle with the shooting star press. He's done it all. But I feel, in my honest opinion, that the World's Championships, the Universal Championship, the World Championship, the WWE Championship, any primary championship belongs on the future. This is the same problem WCW had. Putting their belts on the same people. It became a circle. It became so habitual that fans stopped watching and stopped buying tickets. Is that what you want, Vince? Now, Vince, throughout recent memory, has been accused of being out of touch. His finger's no longer on the button. He doesn't know what he's doing. And while those may be true, one thing I can give Vince McMahon credit for is he knows how to make a great showing. He knows. He knows how to make a face. He knows how to make a heel. He knows how to... The presentation of the pay-per-views, from the videos to the graphics of each superstar, and so on. He knows how to do that quite well. But it all goes into someone other than Lesnar. Lesnar is 44 years old. Do you expect him to keep doing this 5 years from now? Do you? You got to have a pipeline to the future. What if Big E kept the title throughout last year and got to main event WrestleMania? What about that? Or what if Kofi got another shot at the title, which he rightfully deserves, and got to hold on to it until WrestleMania? Or through WrestleMania, depending on what the decisions are. Instead of having Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns for the umpteenth time. I don't want to see that. I've seen it already. So, what happens after this story ends? Is Brock going to come if he loses and plead case for another shot? Is Roman going to do the same if he loses? That is why I say Lashley should be entered into this. Why not? He's good. He's the Almighty. He's gotten better on the mic. And he's believable. Because the one thing that all three of these individuals have in common is the wow factor and power. Lesnar with the F5. Lashley with the Hurt Lock. Spine Buster. Reigns with a Superman punch and a spear. It works out perfectly well. But you have to navigate this the right way because WrestleMania season is here. And Mania is coming real soon. So you have to have all your ducks in a row for it to work, for it to be right. Am I going to watch Mania? Probably not. I may not. I'm still, looking at what the card holds. But as long as it's not Goldberg, thankfully he's no longer with the company, so I've heard, in a squash match, I'm cool. I'm good. But I just don't want to see another drawn out rivalry between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns anymore. I'm done. I'm burned out from that. And it's not just because it's been done so much. It's the fact that where can you go for your shock value besides Heyman turning on somebody? Where? You can't go anywhere. It's just two guys, one Heyman put on and brought to the top, and then another one, pardon me, he's managing right now. There's not much wiggle room you can go with that. So this is no. I would not personally, if I was in creative, I would have went a completely different direction. I wouldn't have had Lesnar in the Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble sets up for Mania. It's the appetizer, whether it's the females Royal Rumble or the males Royal Rumble. It's the appetizer to the main course, which is WrestleMania. That's how it's always been. At least that's how I remember it as a fan. I would have had Big E win the Rumble. Or even Kofi. I would have had some old faces from the past come in for a cameo appearance. The same way they did in the females Rumble. That was genius. But it just seemed flat. So I didn't get what I was expecting in the Rumble. I didn't get what I was asking for in the Rumble. It didn't even feel like a Royal Rumble. It just felt like a bunch of people fighting for no apparent reason. I couldn't get into it. I just couldn't. And it's not because Shane McMahon was in there. I forgot all about that. WWE. This is my word to you. As someone who has watched your product for almost 3 decades, for as long as I can remember, went to the house shows, wore the t-shirts, played your video games, had the posters, played with your action figures, so on. You cannot disappoint your fans. You cannot fuck this up. You have a lot riding on this. You got the AEW people saying that everything you do is shit. It's bad enough that they make fun of you because of Raw. Raw is a shit show. Let's just be honest. All right? Raw is fucking trash. It is. And I can't remember the last time I saw a good Raw. And I don't even watch Raw like that. I normally watch my shit on YouTube. I watch it with the clips or I read about what's going on. But Raw is shit. SmackDown is pretty decent. It's a lot. I can get behind SmackDown. Raw is just... I'd rather watch 205... not 205 Live, Level Up. I'd rather watch that. Vince, producers, agents, WWE as an entity, as a whole, as a collective, you owe your fans something special for WrestleMania. The ones who defend you against AEW, your day one fans, the fans who resonate with the old days, such as the Golden Age or the Attitude Era, even the Ruthless Aggression Era. Those who stuck by you through your mistakes, you owe them this. Make WrestleMania something worth watching. For every man, woman, and child who watches your product. For every person who stepped through the curtains in the past. Retired, semi-retired, living or dead. Make this Mania matter. Give us a good story. Make every match have a story that we can all get behind and say, you know what? We're going to watch Mania. We're not going to watch AEW. We're not going to watch Impact Wrestling. No slight on those two companies, but we are definitely going to pay money to see what WrestleMania has. There's not much you can do, like I said before, with the Roman Reigns Brock Lesnar story. It's what do you have? There's only one small thing you can do. And even that in itself is risky. Because really, does anyone really want to see Lesnar versus Lashley versus Reigns? If you ask around, some may say no. But it's something new. And there's continuity there. Like, Lashley can say, I was never beaten. I'm still the real champion. Brock never pinned me. I had to go because I got hurt. Roman's never beat me a day in his life. And he's right. But he's beaten Lesnar, though, by hook or by crook. He beat Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble. You can see for yourself. And if they go with that triple threat, let Lashley go over. Because ultimately, it was Lashley who got screwed because of the concussion protocol. Lashley was the one that got screwed. So therefore, Lashley winning at Mania, winning both titles, is a beautiful end cap, a beautiful bookend to that long, exhausting, tiring story. I love you, Roman, but I got to give up to the Almighty. I've loved him ever since I saw him. Imagine that visual of Bobby fucking Lashley holding both the WWE Championship and the Universal Championship up high as WrestleMania goes off the air. It would be something monumental. And people wouldn't even expect it. You could have it announced ahead of time. Or you could even mindfuck the crowd and have Bobby and MVP come out and say, hey, I want in. No one ever expected that. The best things in life are unrehearsed. That's what I say. So WWE, pull that magical rabbit out the hat and give us a show that we deserve. Give us something that we can talk about for years to come. But in the meantime, work on a fitting end to the Brock Lesnar Roman Reigns story, because it's really starting to get boring.